We held up cardboards at the establishment where she went missing. Please help me find my mom. Heavily guarded it was. Myself and a number of friends and family members. With nothing but bravery as our shield, confidence, our armor, willpower, our drive. Determination was the only cause of action. Despite the impossibility of our task, persistence became nothing but the only choice available to us. For 5 full, heart-wrecking days, we looked for my mom. No government agency to help, the establishment denying every right and everything that he had to do with it, nobody to run to. All of this was the case. Impossible. But from inside, an inner strength, with nothing to inform it. This, like many other impossibilities, of things that can be made possible if only you would go for it. Thank you.
Hi, guys. So, growing up, I am somebody that's I'm very into like the entertainment industry. I wanted to, act. I wanted to do modeling. I wanted to sing if I could, but I couldn't, obviously. So then I had a roommate when I was in university that was into modeling, and then that was something that I was very into. But as a child, I wasn't the most confident. I didn't believe in myself. I had a lot of doubts. And it's most things that were said to me when I was younger. So then I got out of school and I started to, try out in the modeling industry. Then it wasn't working out. So it was a case of, I wasn't good enough, or my body size, or all that. So I tried a lot of things. I went into this bad diet that I was doing because I wanted to lose a lot of weight that caused me to not eat for like a couple of days for some reason. So yeah, I was very persistent. I wanted to, do it, whatever it took, whatever it takes, I was going to do it. So I went into like a couple of trainings and all that. And then even when I went for castings, I wasn't picked. It takes a lot for you to continue doing that when it wasn't working out for you. It takes a lot from your confidence, even if I was confident. It took a lot. So then, even if it wasn't working out, I still believed that I was good enough for it. So I kept going on, castings, no. I even went for castings for acting, because I wanted to do that as well. No, nothing was working out. So then it took me up to like 2019, with the fact that I still stayed persistent, 2019, to get into like commercial modeling, where I started to do commercials. So yeah, my story is just that. I was persistent enough. I started to believe in myself. I became confident, and I was very disciplined to know that this is the path I wanted to follow. And yeah, and now I'm here. Thank you.
I'm honestly not good with words, and I never wanted to do this because it's one of my private stories. I don't share my private life with people at all, but I'll share this anyways. I'm going to title it The Girl Child Alone. Growing up as a girl child alone, like many things were thrown at me, like I was unprotected, I was unsafe, I was intimidated, I was bullied. I had no shelter. So I started fighting. All my life I've been ambitious. I knew that where I wasn't where I was meant to be. There's this drive in me. So Growing up, I found my strength, the drive, the courage to push through. Many things happened. I don't want to go into details, I'm sorry. I was determined, I had the willpower, I'm a fighter. So I found the strength within me with hard work, staying strong, and going for it, for everything I was deprived of, and everything people thought I could never get. And this has brought me to BBNaija.
This is basically the story I was planning to tell, the success ladder, but I don't know when, something just changed. So it's basically going to be more of a story of the journey of self-discovery. It was something I said on the first day when I came into the house. But then I just realized that I have actually been struggling with something that most people particularly don't understand. Since we're here, so I guess I am going to tap into the bravery inside of me and just basically go for it. I'll try to touch upon this at some point because I mean this looks beautiful. So, most of the people you know me in the house, if you hear me talk, I talk about my mom a lot. I don't particularly talk about my dad. My dad is basically my role model. I don't have any other role model. We're having a conversation some days ago. Sheiks basically talked about something role model related. I don't have any other person that can be a role model. And the reason is very simple. I don't particularly believe in human beings because I think human beings will let you down. Case in point, my dad. My mom and my dad are not together, they're separated. And when my dad left, I basically threw my whole world upside down. So I basically just thought if my dad can leave me, every other person can leave me. So I became guarded. The reason why my mom and dad separated, it's a weird story. Sorry, Dad, for doing this if you're watching this, but I do know that at some point I'll have to mention the story. It would basically help me finally overcome the one thing I've been holding. For those people who think, I'm hiding stuff, I'm holding things back, I just haven't found a way to navigate it. My confidence is pretty messed up. So my dad was addicted to drugs. And imagine a child having to, go through that. So, okay. Sorry, guys. I don't drink and I don't smoke because of my dad's story. I particularly run away from money because of my dad's story. My parents are pretty comfortable. When my dad was young, he ran away from the country. He went to the US just because, he was a bad guy. It was just cool. He had the money to basically take care of himself. But yeah, my mom and dad work in the financial sector, so I basically didn't grow up poor. Basically had everything I wanted. So imagine when I found out that, because of work and the money that was available, maybe my dad turned to drugs. So as a child, I'm like, you know what? Probably just never going to make money. So I basically ran away from everything that had to do with making money. But then I didn't know how that was going to affect me in life. I got into school. I didn't want to do well in school because I knew that if I finished with a good degree, they would make me get a job, and I didn't want to get a job because if I got a job, I'd have to work like my dad. I might end up doing something bad. I started drinking during the pandemic because I thought everybody was going to die. Anyway, I'm not joking. I'm like, you know what, if I'm going to go, I might as well start doing things I don't do. It's one of the reasons why I'm very rigid and uptight. I'm the firstborn, so when my dad left, I was 14 or 13. Everybody said you're the first child, responsibility comes to your head. How do you tell a 14 or 13-year-old child that he's not responsible for his family? Anyway, so back to this. I had a conversation with someone and he basically asked if I have a CV. I said, no, I don't need it. And he looked at me in a very funny way. But anyway, moving on to that. I think that's where the story started. I didn't have money because I wasn't working. But I was doing my stuff, I was making time and died. So for some weird reason, this is actually connected to Dano. This whole conversation has something to do with Dano, the Guinness World Record event that they had. I was actually part of it. So I'll say an interesting story. I was an event manager in the thing, but I'm lying. I wasn't. I basically arranged chairs. I shared food. I cleaned up the mess afterwards, and I definitely received insults. But the changing moment in that whole story was when somebody gave me his phone and told me to charge it for him. I'm like, how you going to look at me? They tell me to make I charge your phone. And then it was like, make sure you don't leave here until my phone is full. I felt really insulted, but what did man go do? I was wearing polo t-shirts, activation events, let's do this. At the end of it, they gave me money. Small amount of money, but then it was something. It really did break my confidence, because I'm like, You can't keep living your life like this. Everybody sees you, they look at you as an intelligent guy, you have one or two things, you have to figure something out. So the one thing that I basically ran away from as a child was basically looking for a job. So I put my CV together and I applied for a job. I used all of this, basically found strength to do this. Anyway, guys, I got a job, which was good, but I hated it. I hated every moment of me working in 9 to 5. All the jobs I've worked, I hated it completely. But then I'm here in BBNaija's house. I had a conversation with housemates today, talking about the life we basically prayed for. I was finally here, and I'm grateful to Big Brother for making it happen.
Okay, hi guys. So what I have here is basically the life of Groovy. So this is everything from the early days as a student down to, to the hopeful days of being a superstar. So I started off as a student, obviously, finished from school. In school, I started modeling, which was a big break for me. I was always looking for what to do in my life, and people said I was good at modeling. So I started modeling. I continued with it when I finished in the university. So I was modeling from 2014 to 2017. I didn't really get the big break that I wanted. I had an agency, but they weren't really pushing for me. A lot of things people were saying was that I looked too pretty. Some people said I needed to work on myself a lot more. And, some people didn't really believe in me and everything. So I got a big break. I linked up with an agent in 2017. I went to South Africa. My mom actually was the one who gave me the funds to go there, because one thing I love about my mom is that she always believes in her children. She always believes in people. Go for what you want, even if what she's looking at is a different vibe. Still go for it. So she helped me do that. I did my modeling thing. I came back from South Africa 2017 with a contract. But as soon as I came back, I thought she'd be celebrating me. She said, you know what, I think you should give up on the modeling thing. I don't think it's going to work for you. You're the firstborn. You have 5 younger ones. Your dad doesn't really have the funds to take care of the family. You need to go into something serious. Okay, so look for a job or go for a master's or go into business. I didn't get any of those. I went into business. It was not the best thing for me. I didn't want to be a businessman. I always knew that I was going to be great. I knew that I was going to be a fucking big superstar. I had music in me, even though I was still not pushing it at that time. I did the business thing. I was always dyeing my hair in going to work and everything. They said I looked too fine. I just bought, wait till they find for market. This one no fit make go do this one, go do that one. So people weren't really patronizing me, helping me out and stuff. But I still dug deep. I still focused. I still had that grind determination to make it as a businessman. 4 years plus, I'm still doing my business, and I'm sure it's still pushing on the outside. So with the music thing, I always wanted to go into music, but obviously I didn't have the funds. I didn't have any connections or anything. I've always considered myself to be very independent. I might seem like that. I see myself as a loan shark. I believe I can make it. You understand? But I learned in life that you have to make it with people. You need people to help you make it in life. So I started investing myself in my music, with my money for my business. I used a lot of my money to invest in my music. It's to the point where it affected my business. I didn't have money to order goods for a very long time. I had bills and rents and different things to pay for. I had my siblings, their own finances to take care of. My dad actually moved out of the family house, left my mom struggling with the whole expenses. It was crazy. So moving on to the superstar vibe. I believe that now I'm a superstar. I believe that we're all superstars. I believe that this is the beginning of a journey. I believe that BBNaija is the perfect opportunity. It's the balance. It's going to take every single aspect of my life, from being a student down to being a superstar. So thank you for being here. Yeah. So with determination, drive, and optimism, I've gotten to where I am now. Thank you. The life of Groovy.
I want to tell you a story about a girl who didn't really know who she was. She was born into a family of athletes, from her mother to her father to all her siblings. And she was doing pretty well academically, but she found her passion for athletics. She started going on track, running track back to back. But she realized that track wasn't just a passion, but it was an escape. Because this girl had a stuttering problem. So she wasn't really involved in the whole academics or public speaking. But on the track, she knew she didn't have to speak, but she could run and be the freest of herself. This girl was on a journey of discovering Daniela Peters, how the athlete became the writer. After moving several years and coming back to her country, that athletic dream began to die because of lack of opportunities. This girl became quiet and extremely introverted. She started writing her feelings on papers anywhere she could find a pen and a piece of paper. She wrote so much that it began to withdraw herself from everyone else. so she never really told anyone how she felt. And on her path of self-discovery and self-realization, she told herself that she needed to find out what she was good at besides sports. So she began to list out her strengths. She began to list out her possible weaknesses, because these areas of weaknesses will let you know where and how to be less involved or to be less passionate about. She began to ask herself what her what really was. What does she like doing, and what can she do with that interest? She began to ask herself, why was she writing? Why does she want to take up this career path of becoming a spoken word artist? Why? The why will always keep you focused. The why will always keep you resilient, because with every road you take in life, there will be obstacles, hurdles. The why will give you the momentum to jump over every single hurdle. Moving on, she began to recreate her vision board. She began to set out objectives for herself to accomplish one after the other, because just because she stopped running didn't mean her life had stopped moving. Now this writer, or this athlete, had become a writer. This athlete had not stopped being passionate about sports. This athlete also did not stop being passionate about writing. And with this, I would like to tell you that this girl is me. This girl is Daniela Peters. And it is okay to have more than one dream. Just go for it.
Okay, hi guys. It's not a lot. Basically says London, Lagos, education, football. Second, Daniel Lushema, that's my name. That's Shegs, that's also my name. I'm British, I'm Nigerian. I don't want to say too much, I'm not really good at this. I'll just say growing up, I had a really good upbringing. Parents did a lot for me. Always wanted to be a footballer since I was in Lagos. Finally got the chance to move back to England when I was 11. And it was just really hard, you know, because you come from a good background. My parents would give me money, but I'd spend it all trying to chase my dream in football. I really don't want to do this. And it was just so hard because everybody thinks you're from this family and you have everything, but I was really spending all my money trying to go from club to club to actually chase this dream. So obviously a lot of drive, a lot of courage, a lot of persistence, a lot of determination, a lot of confidence, and a lot of discipline. I think eventually, obviously I got signed to a professional football club. And yeah, like obviously, really hard. My parents would move my school, so I'd go to a different school that was like far away, and then I'd have to look for a new club and get signed. Went to university, it was really difficult because I was at uni and I was a full-time footballer. I just think a lot of people doubted me, you know, like, just because like I didn't choose that, I came from where I came from. And yeah, like, I feel like I always got it, and eventually, when I became pro, I started doing well, and then my knees started giving up on me, you know, and yeah, now I'm here, still chasing my dream, because I'm resilient, I'm mad assertive, I'm brave as fuck, I'm optimistic, I've got integrity, I've got strength, and I've got willpower, so I'm still gonna get it.
I'll title this Dotun's Life's Dreams. So, just to keep it short, all through my life, I've always been a very active person, active in various spaces, from the sports space to even the academic space. And one thing I really struggled with was balance, trying to get that balance in life. So I was active, made sure that I stayed active in every scene till I found a major break. That break for me was the entertainment scene. I found out that apart from looking good, you also have to act the part. You have to be the part. So through my life, I've gone through a series of challenges that's brought me even to the point that I am. From my secondary school days, I was very active in sports. I was determined to go into sports on full time, but due to several reasons, I couldn't. I was a very keen athlete. I was a great footballer, but I just lacked that, will I say, self-conviction to take it a step further. So such dreams fell by the wayside. But I decided not to give up even through life and look for the next best thing. So through my life, as a young boy, I wanted to be several things. You can see one of this thing fell off. I wrote an astronaut, That fell off, and so did my dream fall off. Football, doctor, and model. Encountered series of challenges in life, from my negligence to the many no's that I experienced, and even my self-doubt. I tackled it with discipline. I tackled my negligence with discipline, tackled my many no's with staying resilient, tackled my self-doubt with faith and taking a leap of faith. A typical example is why I'm on this show. I have auditioned for 4 years, and this year was the 1 year that I decided to do something different. And fortunately for me, it clicked. But another story that I want to actually really share, a very short story, about something that almost took my life, that was in 2017, was an incident that happened while I was in school. It was a pressure cooker explosion, which exploded on my face. And this incident was very crucial because it tested me as an individual. It tested my strength, tested my willpower and my resilience. And this happened, and fortunately for me, I had people around me that were able to help me through this period. So thank you very much, guys.
Good day, everyone. My name is Brian, and I want to give you a short synopsis of a movie called Brian and the journey called Self-Discovery. So, scene one, I've always identified as an artist. All my life, I've identified as a creative. Everybody that knows me I breathe music. I breathe art. Art is a way not just to make money, it's a way for me to express myself. This year is the year that I started becoming more expressive and not using just music as a form of expressing myself. Music is my life. Scene two is the never-ending pothole called self-doubt. So since 2019, I've been actively making music, and I've been hitting brick wall upon brick wall upon brick wall upon brick wall. And I'm always around other artists, and it starts to create doubt in my heart. I'm seeing these artists, I'm wondering, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why am I like this? Why is my life going like this? Why is things happening to me? I'm comparing myself with these people, and I'm seeing that really, talent-wise, there's really no difference. I could not figure out what was happening. My mother is my biggest supporter in this life. My mother has followed me to an artist's gate and stayed there trying to get the artist to listen to our music until the artist sent security to bounce us from the place. So for my mother in 2021 to sit me down and tell me, I think it's time you take a new career path, that was the most depressing moment of my life. I started to question myself. I didn't understand what I wanted to do in my life. I spent a lot of months trying to figure out what to do in my life. I was at the point where I was going to I was at the point where I was about to get a 9-to-5, you get. So that is where we reach epiphany. Nobody, I had, in my journey to epiphany, I had the courage to continue on my journey, the courage to dare to dream. I maintained the drive to still become an artist. I had the determination and the persistence. And through all this, I maintained the optimism because I realized, through my journey to self-discovery, that this is all I want to do in my life. This is seriously all I want to do in my life. And my journey is not yet over. The story is not yet over. But what I do understand about myself today is that I have discovered myself. And through this, I know that in my heart, truly, I'm a creative. Thank you.
All right, so a lot of people say, Fina, you're Raz, you're from the streets, you behave like a tout, you do this, you do that. Yes. You know, they say the environment where a child grows up affects the child. Now, my name is Ijoma Josephina. I am from a family of 6. I am the first child. And I come from a family where I have both parents, but then there is no love in my family. I come from a family whereby when you're born, you're born. However you grow, that's how you grow. Take care of yourself. Do you. So, my parents saw me through primary school only. And then I was given to my aunt. No, sorry. My aunt actually saw me through primary school and secondary school, obviously. And then I had to look for my own life. At the age of 15, I was already on my own. I started living alone. I started hustling, from hawking to learning how to make hair, to making of hair is a lot. Started looking for money for rent, started working a lot of part-time job, and all these were all in the trenches. My auntie that I stayed with, she has more of boys. She has a restaurant and bar. Now, all my life has been around guys. And to be there, you need to be very determined. The determination, I was strong. I knew what I wanted. I had that self-drive that I knew what I wanted. I didn't allow any guy take advantage of me because of where I grew up, where they drink, smoke, you know, the feelings. And then, as it goes on, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a medical doctor at a time, but all these were not there, and I began to lose my confidence. And as time goes on, my auntie said she had tried. She has seen me through secondary school. Let me see myself through the remaining one. With discipline, I came out. I was living alone. I got myself into the Federal Polytechnic of Auchi. Our school fees was not too expensive then. It was just 14,500. I got into engineering. I was the class rep. I had to get free textbook from there. After my ND, with the bravery, I graduated well. HND, I came back. I went for the Director of Socials, SUG, first female ever since 1963 of my school. I broke the record, being the first female to hold that position, and that was persistence. And then I continued. I never gave up. A lot of challenges were coming, but my strength was strong. And when I was tired of Edo State, I gathered the courage to go to Abuja, where I know nobody. And guess what? I picked up the job of a hype woman, and this is also rare. If you've noticed something, I love to drag it with the guys. Like, I love it there. And doing this, I faced a lot of struggle. Sometimes I would get into the wrong boat. Sometimes I would be going. I was robbed like once or twice. I get challenges with guys a lot. I had to fight with guys a lot. So all my life has really been tough. With the willpower, I'm here.
Yes. Okay, born in 1995 to a mom and a dad, a big family. Only child, my mom and my dad, they were never married, sharp vibes. Popsy was always bringing women to the house, and they were, you know, doing stuff. He was a player, but my life started off with this, education, primary school, you know, nursery school. I found out that I could dance. Teachers were like, this boy is too small, he's a baby, why is he dancing like that? There was talent, there were a lot of mistakes growing up, there was depression, learning, thinking out of the books. What's this guy? Oh, consistency. A lot of failure. So I was always failing. Like, as a child, they told me I was an Olodo. You know when they are telling you don't have sense in primary school. But I wasn't getting bad grades. It was mostly 80, 70. That's still A in today's world. But, you know, there are people that were really smart and could get 100 over 100. Okay, so then I found out that I could sing. Hey, yeah, yeah. I could also present. Oh, by the way, MS, if you could remember, one of the guys that was following to look for MC was Swag Baby. So I got a job this year, basically, and started earning as a presenter. See the dance, that's another talent. So with all of this, I was determined. Before this, I had confidence. So basically, my name is Ilukar, and I turned into Swag. Swag is, you can do everything, right? So this person you're seeing is like a multi-socket. I feel like I connect to everybody and to anything. See this platform, I'm not mentioning the name, but Drive. Okay, so basically someone told me that, why are you not uploading your dance videos? I said, I don't know. So you could get paid if you upload your dance videos. And I just did it, and I didn't really believe. I just put it out there, gave it a nice name tag, and basically this blew up my life to a certain point in time. I had the fame. It entered my head. There was small money that was there. I was seeing dollar, and I was like, hey. But yeah, something trashed me down. I can't go into details of how that story happened. And finally, let's get to it. My name is Swag, and this is what connects me to my life. Family's supposed to be here, but let's get it. So there's music, there's presenting, there's videography, there's copywriting, digital marketing, and dance. There's also the fact that I have like 4 million plus views on, you know, that platform. Oh, I'm also a DJ. Freaky, what? Then there's not a big connection. BBN. And this is some of the story that I'd like to tell you about myself.
Hi guys, so I actually tried coming up with something, but it wasn't working. So I literally just made a ladder and I set the cards in form of a ladder just to signify that my life is literally a ladder. I have gone from different stages of life, from a child who used to have everything to the child who lacked basically everything. Going from having parents who could afford the best schools to going to schools that I didn't want to be in. These made life so lonely because I lost friends along the way because we couldn't fit in anymore. It was so bad that I once had a teacher who told me to probably marry my proprietor's imbecile son just because I couldn't afford school fees, since I was already receiving free education from the school. So lack has really taught me a lot. Lack has taught me to be driven, to have determination, to have strength, to have discipline, to be brave, and to have willpower. So this is basically a story of me climbing these ladders of my life, and I am climbing it proudly, boldly, and soon I will gain confidence, which is something I definitely lack. Thank you.
So for me, I was born into like a pretty comfortable home, and you know, I was always that girl that, you know, had daddy and had daddy give her everything. But then I didn't even know people used to suffer. I didn't even know people used to like. I just thought everybody in the world would be okay and happy and good. But then I lost my dad and everything changed. And long story short, I had to learn how to, you know, be independent very fast because I had to take care of. No, I'm not going to take the credit alone. My sister and we had to take care of, you know, mommy and the 2 baby boys behind us. I know, you know, of course, like a young girl, people see you, you know, doing whatever you're doing by yourself. They'll call you names. I actually wrote the names that people have called me, but I'm not showing it anymore. I changed my mind. So they'll call you names and they'll come up with all sorts of narratives. It's all bullshit. I'm not any of those things they've called me. I've been very hardworking. I've been very, you know, most of the things I've gotten so far out of life I've gotten because I've been very smart. I've used my brains, I've worked. I'm a very, very hard worker. I know that all of you think I'm lazy. I'm lazy when it comes to like kitchen chores and the rest. But like when it comes to making money, I really am not lazy. I've had to do that by myself for a lot of people and be very responsible, and I'm still doing that. Currently, I thank God for where I've gotten to. I've continued to push forward, and I will continue to push forward. And that's the story.